stay seated and allow you all to take a moment to get settled onto your backs. Notice if there's any props that you'd like to use right now to help the body settle in or make itself more comfortable. You might want to have something underneath your head if you like. I'll encourage you, as always, to have the knees bent to create some ease in the low back and to be in a more alert posture. We'll find full Shavasana, of course, at the end of practice. And if that's not comfortable for whatever reason, then of course, do what you need to be comfortable. And so one thing we want to keep in mind is that when we're centering, is to take that opportunity to use whatever props we need to let go or to help support the body so we can let go of distractions. Right? If something's physically kind of talking to us, trying to grab our attention, we're not able to center as well. And once you feel kind of settled, I think you found your just right place, go ahead and take 3 long, deep, slow breaths. Just inhaling through the nose, full breath in, really filling up, and then slowly release out through the mouth. Let go of whatever it took to get here. Whatever occurred prior to showing up for class, just let it go. We'll take another full, deep breath in. And on the next exhale, letting go of whatever you have going on the rest of the day after the class. And one more nice full deep breath in. And anything else you're willing to let go of. So that you become more present and or allow yourself to rest in this moment. Letting go of any tension. And then allowing the breath to find its own rhythm for a moment without shaping it. Just observe your body breathing. Just feeling the sensations of the breath as it enters and exits. Noticing the areas of the body that are breathing or engaged with the breath, which parts are moving slightly. Where do you feel the breath in the body? And you may be settled in a location that allows you to actually hear your breath, however slight. And so the more present we become, we're able to truly check in with the layers of our being, to notice who's on the mat today. And so checking in with our physical body, the outermost layer, scanning it, noticing any areas that do need your attention, your care, your patience, your compassion. As you were breathing, our breath body, our energy body, what was the quality, or what is the quality of your breath today? Noticing any congestion, or maybe taking those deep breaths you noticed you hadn't done so in a while. Noticing the mental and emotional body, those thoughts that take us away bringing yourself back to the moment by being aware of your breath or physical sensations. And emotions. What emotions are right there at the surface today? Just recognizing them without judgment, without the need to fix anything. And noticing how connected you may feel in this moment to your wisdom body. The ability to listen to that small, still voice, to hear it, to be in stillness long enough to hear it. Do you trust its guidance? That intuition, that inner knowing within you. The more we're able to acknowledge what is, to stay present to the moment, to let go of judgments, fixing anything, and the more connected we feel to that inner voice, we remember our truth of peace. That's our essence, bliss and peacefulness, and love. And knowing that it all starts from within. And as we develop that love and that peace and that essence of bliss within us, it then moves out. So that which we wish to see in the world starts from within each of us. So I'm going to share with you a reading from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo to just take this into your practice, allow it to integrate and just kind of work through you. And it's called All That We Are Not. I can easily over-identify with my emotions and roles, becoming what I feel. I am angry. I am divorced. I am depressed. I am nothing but my confusion and my sadness. No matter how we feel at any one moment, we are not just our feelings, our roles, our traumas, our perceptions of values, or our obligations or ambitions. It's so easy to define ourselves by the moment of struggle we are wrestling with. It is a very human way to be consumed by what moves through us. In contrast, I often think of how Michelangelo sculpted, how he saw the sculpture waiting, already complete in the uncut stone. He would often say that his job was to carve away the excess, freeing the thing of beauty just waiting to be released. It helps me to think of spiritual discernment in this way, facing ourselves, uncovering the meaning in our hard experiences. The entire work of consciousness speaks to a process by which we sculpt away the excess, all that we are not, finding and releasing the gesture of soul that is already waiting, complete within us. Self-actualization is this process applied to our life on earth. The many ways we suffer, both inwardly and outwardly, are the chisels of spirit, freeing the thing of beauty that we have carried within us since birth. So allowing our practice to sculpt away that excess, to chisel away the stuff that we don't need, that truly isn't us. And then that brightness, our truth, can shine forth. Just a willingness to allow this practice to help you with that. Whatever that looks like to you, whatever that means to you, stepping outside of our thinking mind, trying to figure that out, and just experience and feel with this flow. Finding your way back to your breath. Excuse me. And begin to deepen it. taking it to about an 80% of capacity, and exhaling the same length. So approximately equalizing the inhale and the exhale. The breath is full but comfortable. And this is the breath we will be working with the whole practice, the breath leading, guiding us through a very slow flow. Meditative movement. Just continue here for another moment, evening out the breath, filling up and emptying. Just allowing yourself to rest in that flow of breath. You feel a sense of smooth transition between the in and the out, and the out and the in. And you can also continue to work with an intention of taking in and letting go. Receiving, giving back. Always working with discovering balance. Let's go ahead and you can keep rest your palms on your belly or by your side. Just maintain that breath, right? And then bring your inner edges of your feet and knees together. Let's come into our low back care, starting with our sacrum and our sacral rock. So just ever so slightly rocking the knees side to side, right across the sacrum. Just noticing what's going on in your low back, how that's feeling. So as we come into our warm-ups, it's an opportunity to, again, check in with the physical body or continue to check in and discover areas that need some extra care today that you might not have otherwise. And in these small movements, maintaining that nice, long, even breathing, continuously coming back to it when it's lost, which it'll happen. Depending on how this feels for you, you can make this a little bit bigger. And I'm still going to encourage you to avoid a full twist. We're only warming up, especially if you are prone to any low back issues. So if you're like me with bulging discs, or anybody has any torn discs, herniated discs, really be mindful of the twist. And we can right here engage that lower abdominal area. Always supporting the low back through our movement with the core. Just a couple more breaths here. Just really taking our time this morning. Each movement, even those that we do every practice, we're different, we've changed. Honor that beginner's mind. Continue to bring your mind back to the moment again and again through the breath. And then eventually bringing the knees back to center and take the feet hip-width apart. And find our way into hip hikers or sliders, just sliding the hips up the mat towards the shoulder. Breath is deep and flowing. And you can play with the pace here. So as you all are dealing with a lot of heat, then you want to keep this slow. We don't want to create more heat in the body. It's already there, right? So we want to continuously have the intention of trying to keep that down, or at least don't make it any worse, right? So slowing everything down. And come back to center. Pause, noticing any sensations. And then we'll find our way into hip pointers, pointing the right hip up and then the left. Long, slow, even breathing. I'm going to continue to emphasize that. It's easy for it to fall away on these smaller movements. And then releasing back to center, neutral pelvis. Feel, just noticing the sensations. And then we'll go ahead and draw the knees into the chest. Hugging in, you can grab behind the knees if you prefer, or even if you need to. You can straighten the legs a little bit for those of you with some knee stuck in there. Just hugging in, feeling a little stretch in the low back, and then when you're ready, connecting our breath. Inhale, arm lengths away, and exhale towards you. So this movement now will match our breath. So that slow, even breathing will automatically slow down the movement, right? So the breath is guiding. We'll really play with this quite a bit in our standing flow this morning, keeping it really like slow motion. For some of you, this may require some patience, right? To really slow our practice down, to be mindful of every breath and every movement can require a lot of patience. And after your next exhale, as you exhale and pull the knees into the chest, let's go ahead and now take this into circling the knees around in one direction. The knees stay together, and just slowly circle around. Large or small, but keep it slow. Breath is continuing that slow flow. Deep, full inhale and slow exhale. And eventually circle the other way. Notice if anything feels different when you change directions. Right? So we're circling all around the pelvic, low back and sacrum, right? Back of the pelvis. And then coming back to center with the knees pulled into the chest. we're going to go ahead and just do a little warming up or awakening of our core, but in a very gentle way. Extend the left leg out and just hover off the floor. The right knee is drawn in towards the chest. Flex that both feet actually. So we're also activating the quadricep muscle, that large muscle in the thigh. And we're just hovering that leg off the floor. Draw the navel to spine. So we're just awakening the core. Deep, full breathing as we hold here. Breathing into the chest, opening up the lungs, opening up the rib cage as we maintain that core strength. And then very slowly switch. Draw the left knee in, extend the right, hug in with that core. Keep that engaged the whole time. Both feet are flexed. It's more challenging the closer that leg is hovering off the floor. You can certainly bring it up a little bit if it's too much. You can also go feel this through the hip flexor too. Keep that breath flowing. Since a few of you mentioned some swelling in your feet due to the heat you're dealing with, I will try to remember to do kind of a restorative bridge pose where you put the legs up the block, up towards the ceiling. So that just came to mind. So I'll make sure we do that today. And then again, hug both knees in. And take a couple of breaths here. And then bring both feet into your mat, knees bent. Arms by your side, palms down. Take a breath here. Just feel the practice so far. It doesn't seem like we've done a lot. Yet when we work with our breath, it's so powerful. We are already creating shifts within us. I promise. So keep that breath, and we're going to now come into our moving bridge. Lower half of the body only. We're going to keep the arms by our side for now, neck neutral. Back of the head resting in the floor. And if you have a blanket or anything that might be slightly lifting the head, I'm going to encourage you to move it off to the side, not overhead. Make sure you've got floor space above you. When you're ready, on an inhale, we'll tuck the tailbone and start to roll the spine up off the floor. Vertebra by vertebra, lifting the hips. Neck continues to stay neutral, and then exhale and slowly roll back down. Feel the whole spine roll itself back into your mat. And then inhale, slowly, fully and completely, lifting the hips. Very slow motion moving bridge. Exhale as you release back down. So I'm going to just encourage you at this point, a few more rounds on your own, finding your own pace, and to keep it slow. You can exhale through the nose or through the mouth. I'll leave that up to you. And then at the completion of your next exhale, pause. I'll take a moment here together. Again, just an opportunity to listen and feel any sensations. Continue to breathe deeply. And then we'll find our way into our three-part moving bridge. So we will engage the arms this time. Inhaling, slow motion. Hips rise, arms reach overhead. Nice full breath in, leaving the arms there as you slowly exhale and release the spine back down into the mat. And then inhaling, roll the spine back up, hips up. And everything comes down together, exhaling. See if you can time it so that the arms and the sacrum come into the floor at the same time. So just continuing there with our 3-part bridge. Inhaling, leaving the arms, exhale the hips, inhale the hips, and then everything comes down together. And again, it's your own pace, but I'm still going to encourage it to be slow and mindful with that breath. Okay, our breath is the focal point today. A deep, full breath in and out is where we're placing our focus, allowing the body to be guided by it. Just a few more rounds on your own. At the completion of the next round, when the arms are back by your side, again, pause. Feel and listen. And let's go ahead, roll over to one side. And rather than spending any time on our wrists and knees right now, I'd like us to go ahead and come up to standing. So just finding our way up. I'll be in the center of my mat to face the camera, but you can find in any, whatever position you are in on your mat to face the camera is fine. Let's bring our feet shoulder width apart and parallel. Right, toes soft. I'm not clenching in the toes, arms by your side. Take a moment to allow the shoulders to relax and the arms to become heavy or relaxed by your side. You can either have the eyes open or closed. I'll leave that up to you. And just come into that nice full breath. Here, I'm going to invite you into exhaling through the mouth if you weren't already, as we just come into some of our sacred movement. But what I'd like to do is go ahead and start to rub the palms together. Just creating a little warmth in the center of the hands. And then we're going to awaken our energy body. And just some tapping and patting through the body here. Inhale fully through the nose. And exhale completely through the mouth. And then just bringing this energy up to the face. Just begin to tap the forehead, continuing with that breath. I'm talking, so it'll be harder for me to continue it, but inhaling through the mouth, exhaling through the, or inhaling through the nose, exhale through the mouth. As we start to tap out to the edges of our forehead and the temples. Moving down along the eye socket or bones there. Coming down along the jawline. moving down by the chin, upper lip, cheeks, and the nose, and the bridge of the nose. Come back along the eye sockets and to the temples and up through the forehead. Third eye, awakening that intuition. And then just moving now along the crown of the head and down the back towards the neck, and then coming back to the forehead. Inhale and exhale down the back of the neck. And again, one more time. Tapping the back of the neck, behind the ears, and along the outer edges of the neck. And then we're going to take our left hand to the right side of our neck and upper shoulders. Just start to pat, inhaling all the way down the outer edge of the arm to the palm and exhaling back up. And 2 more times. And then switch sides. And 3 times down this arm, inhaling and exhaling. And then taking the fingertips, tapping on just below the collarbone, the little knob areas there, and along the bottom of the collarbone. Back towards center, to the heart center. Inhale and exhale here. Moving down along underneath the breast. In the upper rib cage, outer side of the rib cage, down the side body, moving towards tapping on the hips, the outer hips. And take a big inhale here as you work your way down the sides of the legs. And exhale. And then inhale, back up to the inner edges of the legs. And hip flexors, back to the outer hips. And exhale. And inhale back up. And one more time, exhale. And inhale. Lightly tapping on the hip flexors. And then just circle around the belly clockwise. Just gently circling the belly. Starting to bring all that in. Keep the palms on the lower belly, below the belly button. Breathing into the belly, allow it to expand and contract, and just feel that energy. And then relaxing the arms by your side. Allow them to hang, go along for the ride as we just do our little twist and turn, initiating this from the hips, knees slightly bent, and the arms just gently swing around side to side. They're just moving with gravity, the movement of the hips. You're not taking them around at all. No muscles or action involved on your part in the upper body. We do have a gentle engagement of the core, and of course, inhaling and exhaling fully. Couple more breaths here. Allowing that to come back to center. Again, be still and feel. I'm continuously surprised by the amount of sensation from such simple movements, just the energy body really shifting. Good. So with that same breath, nice deep full breaths in and out, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhaling the arms out wide, palms down. And exhale, palms facing the earth, moving from the crown of the head to the feet. So you might have an image here of taking in or up something from the earth, taking all that nourishment, surrounding you with that nourishment, and spreading it through every cell of your being from head to toe as you exhale, hands down the center of your spine. You might have a color associated with this, a particular healing energy associated with this. There might be an intention, right? So you can work with this in whatever way resonates with you. And just continuing for a few more rounds here on your own, inhaling and exhaling. There may be a sensation you associate with this. And you have the intention on the exhale, you're pulling in the coolness of the earth, regardless of how hot it may be in the air around you, and the depths of the earth is cool, right? Just beneath the surface, there is that moist soil there. Just go a couple more here. At the completion of your next exhale, stay with that breath, but just pause the movement and feel. Noticing any sensations. Good. So we'll do our gentle side-to-side movement, which is kind of a twist, but it's just a very gentle twist. So we bend the knees, rotate to the right as we open wide, palms up, inhaling back to center. Twisting the other direction, bend the knees, exhale, arms wide, palms down. And then we're gonna just come around back to the right and do that again in the same direction. Inhale. And exhale. At the completion of the next exhale, come to center and pause. And then we'll switch directions. Bend the knees, start left. Inhale. And exhale. The completion of the next exhale. Pause and center. And feel. Stay with the breath though. Good. So let's find our way in and out of forward folding. So we're going to bring our hips, or our feet hip width apart. Okay, so they're not quite as wide. And what we really want to focus on, we worked a bit on this last Monday, where the navel is very engaged towards the spine. Okay, so our core is, we think of forward folding and we think that we can just kind of relax in the core. And I want to really instill the opposite. Right, so because we're asking a lot from our low backs, in particular when we come back up. And so really keeping the core engaged and strong in this forward folding motion, even though we're coming down and coming up, is really important, right? So right here, arms by your side, nice and tall through the spine, shoulders relaxed away from the ears, and an engagement of the core right away. So we're going to breathe fully into the chest and the rib cage instead of into the belly. We're breathing through the heart space, right? So just feel that here for a moment. Take a deep breath into the chest, keeping the belly strong. And then again, exhale, allowing the chest to relax and belly continues to be engaged. And you find that engagement of the belly a little easier probably with the core because we naturally want to draw that in when we exhale. But we're going to keep it engaged on inhale. Just a couple more rounds here. Start to feel that in the body before we come into the movement so you familiarize yourself with it. So on the next inhale, chest opens, arms reach up overhead, core is strong. Bring the palms together. Exhale as you slowly fold forward, bending the knees slightly along the way or a lot if you need to. Core is engaged. Tuck the chin so you lengthen the back of the neck as we work our way all the way to the floor. Arms by your side, reaching behind you, same length of the spine, same engagement as we inhale our way back up, and keeping the back of the neck elongated, reaching overhead. Okay, so exhale, long spine, strong core, and long back of the neck. We're not looking up, looking right down to the floor. Arms by your side, reach behind you, and come right back up with that core. So this is a back strengthener. It also releases the hamstrings, so we're working on that hamstring stretch as we come into the fold. And as we come back up, and as we're working our way down, we're working on the strength of our low backs. And just several more rounds here, just embracing that core, working on those areas I just mentioned, resting your awareness on what's going on in the body through your low back, through your core, through the stretch you're feeling in the hamstrings. Right? What ways can you modify, or do you need to modify? Are you willing? According to who's on the mat today. So we can really take apart this very simple movement, a very familiar movement, right? We can move through it very habitually, check out, not think about it. And yet there's a lot going on here. So see if you can stay as present as you can. Just maybe noticing parts of the body that are engaging you didn't realize, or new or different sensations you hadn't paid attention to before. And on your next exhale, as you come into the forward fold, we're going to add that halfway up, that long spine, hands to your shins now. Inhale that same length of breath. So you just slow motion coming halfway up, long back of the neck, engagement of the core, and slowly exhale as you release back into the fold. And either now, arms by your side, or if you feel warmed up and would like to bring the arms out wide, you can do so as long as your back feels safe. You feel like you can keep your core engaged, protecting that low back, and you can move in that new way. So finding your own pace, and again, maintaining that slow rhythm with the breath. Let the breath lead the way. Breath being our focal point this morning. Being aware of the core as well. Strong engagement there. Next time you come up to standing, pause with the palms at your heart, exhaling here. Eyes open or closed, and just noticing the sensations. Stay with that breath. So we'll add on and find our way into our half salutations. Inhaling, reach up again, continuing to maintain a nice slow movement with the breath so as not to create too much heat. Grab one wrist and exhale slowly to the opposite side. Both feet equally planted into your mat. Inhaling your way back up. And switch sides, exhaling. Inhale. And exhale. Palms to your low back. Inhale into the chest. Core is engaged through this whole movement. We're breathing into our heart, allowing our chest to expand. Keep that core engaged as you exhale and slide the palms down the back of the legs, back of the neck lengthened, core engaged. The same forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, release. Finding your way up with that engagement of the core, long neutral spine, all the way back up. And we'll just continue to move this in slow motion. I think most of you know, or if not all of you know, these half salutations very well. So rather than me coaching you step by step, I just want you to find your pace with your breath and just enjoying this slow motion, keeping everything cool and mindful, breath extended, and just enjoying the sense of a moving meditation. It keeps us in the moment. It's hard to check out when we just create the movement in a different way than we're used to. It tends to need our focus or our attention to do so. Next time you find your way up to standing from that forward fold, pause at your heart. And again, just take a moment to be in stillness and feel the echo of the practice so far, noticing the sensations, particularly the energy body. That's what we're really playing with today, is the subtle energy body, just creating shifts with it. Good. So if you're not at the front of your mat, let's go ahead, find your way there. And you may or may not want your blocks. We're going to do, again, some slow flow, and you may want to use the blocks as we step back into a lunge. We're going to stay off of our knees today. Okay, so we're not actually going to come up into the lunge. We're just going to do a little slow flow here with a lunge. It'll make sense as we move along. So from the front of our mats, feet hip width apart, block on either side if you'd like, and you don't have to. If you don't have them with you, it's okay. Okay, so nice and tall, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a breath or two here, breathing into the chest, opening and expanding through the heart, with the core staying engaged. When you're ready, inhale, open wide. Palms down through center. Exhale with that beautiful length of spine. You're taking the gaze towards the floor. Core is engaged all the way into that forward fold. Hold the breath for a moment as you step the right foot all the way back, and then inhale here into this high lunge, but we're staying low with the hands. You can be on the fists, right? If you don't want to be on the wrists, that works too. Really press back to that right heel. Keep the breath long and steady here. Just holding for a little bit. Working into that front left thigh a little. And if possible, we're at a 90-degree bend with the knees. So our hips aren't up in the air. We're parallel with the floor if possible. Shoulders away from the ears. Core is engaged. Keep that engagement. Don't let it go. And then your next inhale will bring that right foot back to the front of your mat. And the exhale releases you into the fold. Arms by your side or out wide. Long spine, neck neutral. Inhale, come up. And then exhale down through center. Again, same applies with the core being engaged. Hold the breath for a moment. Step your left foot back. Inhale into the pose. So it's a strong pose. We're staying close to the coolness of the earth and doing the best we can to avoid a lot of heat in the practice. Shoulders away from the ears. Breathing into the chest. Core remains engaged. Your inhale steps the back foot forward. And the exhale releases you into the forward fold. And then again, inhale, long spine, core engaged. All the way back up. And then exhale into the heart. And pause. Breathe into the chest. Maintain the engagement of the core. And the breath is deep and flowing. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Keep that core strong. Work on that low back. Right foot steps back. Inhale and pause here for 3 breaths. Keep breathing into the chest. Keep engaging the core. Inhale, your next inhale, step that back foot forward. And exhale into the fold. Inhale, come back up. And exhale right back down. Left foot steps back, inhale. And again, 3 breaths. Opening the heart, core is strong, supporting the low back. And your next inhale, back foot steps forward. And exhale, releases. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale into the heart. Maintain the engagement of the core. Heart lifting and opening with each breath for a couple rounds of breath here. Just feel the practice. We go through one more round here. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale, stepping that right foot back to that lunge. Pausing for a couple breaths here. Finding all those posture alignments we just talked about. The shoulders away from the ears, the core strong. Breathe deeply into the chest. 90-degree bend in the front knee if that's possible. I know that's not for everybody. Just do the best you can. Meet yourself where you are. Next inhale, back foot steps up. Exhale into the fold. Inhale, lengthen. All the way back up. And then we're going to exhale right back down again. Left foot stepping back. High lunge, but keeping the upper body low. Heart open, core engaged. A few breaths here. And the back foot steps forward on your inhale. And the exhale brings you back into your fold. Inhale, lengthen, come back up. Into the heart, exhale. And just feel. Breathe here, maintain that breath if you can. All right, let's inhale, reach up. Very slowly, let's find our way into our first down dog, just for a moment here. Exhale, hold, just take our time. Move the blocks out of the way if need be, stepping the feet back. Coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana. You may wish to walk it out a little bit, regardless of whether you choose to hold or move, we stay with that breath. And then releasing to the knees. And for those of you who can comfortably find a child's pose, draw back. And if that's not possible, come onto the belly. And that's fine, lie back onto the belly. And we're just going to take a moment to rest in a pose that feels safe and comfortable for each of us. And that's going to be different. You can extend the arms out in front. You can place one palm on top of the other, resting the third eye on the palm if you want to. That's fine too. It's a nice lift of the head, neutralizes the neck a bit. And then just relax here. So let go of the breath for a moment. And just feel the practice. Noticing sensations in the body, noticing if there's something different between the left and the right sides of the body, or if something that was talking to you at the beginning of class maybe isn't. Hopefully it's quieted down. You took care of yourself, made choices along the way that nourished you. And then we'll go ahead and come on up and roll onto your backs and have a block by you. We're going to take our blocks at their flattest level and lift the sits bones. Place the block right underneath your tailbone. Right? So we don't want it too high up the back. It's not going to be comfortable on the spine. You really want the edge of the block by your sacrum there. Okay. The arms can be out wide, palms up. They can be on your belly. Some of you may even feel nice to bring them overhead. But we're going to bring the feet off the floor and extend them up to the ceiling. And so not only is this really nice for the thyroid, it's really nice for our low backs, but it does reduce fluid in the legs. And so this is a really nice way to do that. And we're going to stay here. And now, because we're in a place in which our backs are supported, we're going to switch from breathing into the chest to softly breathing into the belly. So finding that nice, long, even breathing again, but this time allowing the belly to rise and fall with that breath. The neck is neutral, back of the head resting on the floor. Inhaling, the belly expands, and exhaling, it gently releases back towards the spine as we let the breath out. Stay here for about another minute. And this last part of the pose, release the shaping of the breath. Just let it completely go. Relax it. Just observe your body breathing on its own. You're not shaping it at all anymore. You can go ahead and bend the knees. Bring the feet into the floor. Remove the block. Again, notice the sensations as we just simply shifted our hips lower. And then take a moment here to find our way into our hip hikers and hip pointers. And this time I'm just going to invite you to alternate between the two. Nice, so just doing a few hip hikers and then finding your way into hip pointers. Pause at center and just check in if there's anything that might complete your practice. If you have the desire to draw the knees into the chest or come into our double knee drop or a little twist now that we're more warmed up, just take 1 minute here, just listening intuitively what would feel nice for you before we find Shavasana, and just 1 minute on your own. Notice where you're guided from within and what feels right for you to complete your practice. Take about 3 to 4 more breaths. At the completion of those breaths, we'll find our way into our Shavasana. I'm going to guide you into some breath work and a meditation or visualization. So just notice what you need to make your body comfortable here, whether it's something rolled up underneath the knees or you'd like to place something underneath your head. Again, same idea in Shavasana as we started with, and centering is to find a way for your body to be so supported and comfortable that it's not going to distract you. whatever that may be for you. So as you get settled onto your backs, I'm going to come to seated to guide you. Once you've settled into your position for Shavasana, find your way into your breath and find a length of breath that's somewhere in between shallow breathing and that deep, full breathing we're doing. Just something right in between there, just a moderate length to the breath. Nothing too forceful or overly extended. And for the next 10 breaths, I invite you to take the breath in through the crown of the head all the way to the feet. And then exhale from the feet back out through the crown of the head. So the breath is traveling 10 rounds from the crown of the head to the feet and released out from the feet to the crown of the head. Just a moderate length to the breath. And after 10 breaths there, the next 10 breaths will again enter through the crown of the head to your ankles. And then exhale from the ankles back out through the crown of the head, 10 breaths. You've completed 10 breaths to the ankles. We're going to take 5 breaths to the knees. So you'll inhale through the crown of the head to the knees and exhaling from the knees back to the crown of the head, 5 rounds. The next 5 breaths, take them to the base of your spine. Inhaling from the crown of the head to the base of your spine and exhaling back up and out through the crown of the head. The next 5 breaths you'll take to your navel. Inhaling, crown of the head to the navel. Exhaling from the navel back up and out through the crown of the head. Next 5 breaths, inhale to the heart. Inhale, crown of the head to the heart. Exhaling from the heart back out through the crown of the head. The next 5 breaths we'll take to the throat, inhaling from the crown of the head to the throat, and exhaling from the throat back through the crown of the head. The next 5 breaths you'll take to the third eye, inhaling from the crown of the head to your third eye, the area between the eyebrows. Exhaling from the third eye to the crown of the head, 5 rounds. And at the completion of those breaths, you're now going to take 25 breaths from the base of the nose, tip of the nose, to the crown of the head, and exhaling from the crown of the head to the base of the nose. Right? So in a sense, the opposite direction, 25 rounds, inhaling from the base or the tip of the nose to the crown, and exhaling from crown to the tip of the nose. And at the completion of those 25 breaths, let go of all shaping of the breath and rest in the energy or the sensations of that practice. Notice any sensations externally along the skin, any air or clothing. And notice any sensations just beneath the skin. And notice if there's an area asking for your attention, or an area of sensation that's grabbing your attention more than another. If there isn't anything, just again bring your awareness either to external or internal overall sensations. If there is a particular area, is it external or internal? Can you breathe into it and just rest with it, whatever those sensations are. Sometimes those areas have something to tell us. So in this moment of quiet, just listen. Begin to come back by taking several deep, full breaths. A little movement in the body, wiggling some fingers or toes, or just stretching long. So slowly finding your way to one side. And then to a seated position, bringing your hands together at your hearts in Anjali Mudra. And take a moment here to honor this time you made for yourself. Self-care, self-compassion. And gratitude for all of those who shared this practice with you.